As professional gamblers, we are always searching for an edge, and that's what I want for you. In today's upload, we're going to talk horse racing and 10 trainers to follow. Now, some of these are going to be lesser known, so keep an eye out for them. Let's get on with it. If you have any suggestions of trainers that we should be watching out for, drop them in the comments section. Now, I'm going to start off by recommending that you all get with Ollie Sangster. Now, he's a 27-year-old, he's pretty new to the ranks, right, but he did work in the US with Wesley Ward. Now, that's a good grounding and something to build on, obviously. Now, he trains at Manton, and he is the grandson of Robert Sangster. For some of you older guys, you'll remember him. He was one of the big owners back in the day, so obviously got a reputation to keep. 18% strike rate already, which is super impressive. The stable have some excellent 2-year-olds, so keep an eye out for them. Starting to attract some wealthy owners. He did mention that this was a problem for him, and because they all thought he was like super rich because he was the grandson of Robert Sangster, but he is looking for owners, and he is starting to attract the right ones. But for now, it's quality over quantity, but he's definitely a trainer to watch. If we look at some of his early stats, we can see that he's already got a plus 23 on his 2-year-olds on the all-weather. He's got a profit overall. Now, it's not a big enough pool size to take it too serious at this stage, but Ollie Sangster for me is one of the trainers that's up and coming, and we should keep him on the right side. And another trainer that is definitely worth noting is Sid Ozee. Now, he's a mixed yard, national hunt and flat, but mainly national hunt, so we'll sort of concentrate on that, right? He used to operate a construction company that used to build the gallops for trainers. Probably thought to himself, I could do this better than them, so that's, where he's probably at it. And he did have his own horses as an owner back in the day. Now he was a trainer. He's particularly effective at getting them fit. He must have built some pretty good gallops there, because they are turning up on the seasonal debuts and looking the parts. Does well with his chasers, and we'll show you that in a second. And especially at the southwest tracks, he is down there in sort of southwest no man's land, but those type of tracks he's doing well. The quality of inmates is improving, and he's definitely a trainer that we need to take seriously for the future. As you can see, he's only had 280 runners, but he's already throwing out a 21-28 profit, and it goes up to 89-25 if we just consider his 109 chases to date. And like I mentioned to you, the most important factor is looking at Sid Ozee, is getting on them when they are pretty new to the scene, early on in the season. So he's definitely a trainer for the up-and-coming jump season. If we go somebody a little bit more sort of established, that's going to be Kevin Ryan. Now, he's got a good mixture in his yard. By that we mean that even though he's improved the level of his runners over the years, they do have a lot of handicappers, and they have also Group 1 horses, so that's something to take into consideration. Now, pay particular attention to the French raiders, and I would say to you, just as a quick tip, if you're betting the French runners, right, UK trained horses that race in France, don't necessarily bet them with the UK bookmakers, because they tend to skimp on the odds. You can go to the UK tote, you can do the French tote by doing so, and you'll get better odds, right? So while Kevin Ryan's got minus 10% on level stakes, that is fantastic, when you consider the amount of runners that he's had. Also consider that, on an average race, the bookmakers are probably taking 20% out, so minus 10% at SP is the important factor. Older handicappers, they return level stake profit. If we have a quick look through that right now, you'll see for yourself the 4-year-olds on turf, 107.43 profit on 516 runners. That's over 20%. So that's something to take into consideration. And Kevin Ryan's definitely a trainer for me. Definitely one that I trust. So maybe you should have a look at him. Jane Chapple-Hyam, she probably wouldn't be on your particular list, but let me just go through a couple of the reasons why. She's got plenty of quality in the stable. She does give the impression that she really knows what she's doing with her horses, right? So, and this is particularly the case with the 2-year-olds. Big profits betting the trainers 2-year-olds. You'll see that in a second. My only critique would be is that she can overface some of her string, and by that I mean, you know, they're under pressure to try to get a listed place into these fillies for breeding, and so you know, you'll see it going with like 50 to 1 shots, 100 to 1 shots in these races that are a little bit probably too good for those type of horses. But yeah, overall, you know, that speaks for itself, doesn't it? Look at that, 127 profit on 112 runners in the 2-year-old turf races. If you want proof of concept, there it is. So moving on to somebody that we really like, especially over the jumps, James Moffat. 17% strike rate for what is relatively a small yard is fantastic. Yeah, big level stake profits, some quality horses in the stable, and got a chance of. I mean, just looking, they've got plenty of strength in depth, so you know they could even build on that for the coming year. Take note, plus 29% at a level stake profit, and that is on starting price. So just imagine what it's like if you're getting the best price, or even Betfair odds nice and early. Yeah, so keep that into consideration. Very good at placing the stable runners. He doesn't ever face his chargers. And also, because he trains at Cartmel, you know, you've got to pay particular attention there. He's got a fantastic strike rate there. So watch for the course specialists, one of the horses that win year in, year out at Cartmel. He's got plenty of good novice coming through. And the one that I would like to mention is Lunar Discovery. While it's only got a rating of like 125 over hurdles, it hasn't raced much. Looks like it's got a great future. Big chaser in the making. So, you know, bear that in mind. And look at those figures on each and every one of them. Hurdles, chase, national and plus, all to level stake, profit at SP. So just incredible, great return, training to follow, keeping in mind for the up and coming season, even the summer racing. Now we'll move on to Ralph Beckett, so big trainer in the context of what I'm doing here. Really good in the second part of the season. That's, you know, a lot of the time it's down to sort of getting your horses handicapped first and then, you know, seeing what you can do with them later on. So he does have a good mixture in the yard, but he's a big trainer. So if we go through, plenty of strength in depth. While he's got a minus 11% to level stakes, again, I've got to reiterate that is to, you know, starting price. So if you was getting the best odds, if you was getting down in the exchanges, you would be beating the sort of SP by more than that. So that's something to bear in mind. He's good at finding the right races for his horses, and he'll give them a try sometimes in races that are probably a little bit OTT, but overall, you know, he's a trainer that knows what he's doing, right? So attract plenty of top owners, so the pressure's on. 18% strike rate is the proof of concept. And like I did mention, you know, the second part of the season, I just keep wanting to reiterate that because the second part of the season is approaching, right? So top operation, working on full capacity. And if we look at the numbers there, you can see them for yourself. It has got the sort of, like I say, that minus 11%. But again, you know, I don't need to mention it's about getting the best odds. This is a well-oiled machine. Another up-and-coming trainer that I'm putting in very highly is James Owen. Now, he did switch to both coasts. He's now training on the flat. He's getting loads and loads of horses in. He's got a sort of bit of the skeleton feel about him. Yeah, he switched from training hours in 2023 when he took out the license for NHF. And yeah, that's what we've got at the moment. 22% strike rate is phenomenal, right? It's attracting some good owners, and they're only going to get better. The quality of his string is going to improve, and it continues to grow. And with him, jockey bookings are very revealing. He'll give like the smaller jockeys a chance when they, well, should I say, when the horses haven't got a big chance, but he'll start legging up the big name jockeys when they're down to win. Yeah, so watch out for the Harry Coblins and so on. Yeah. Now, if we look at that, right, on 2-1 over the jumps, he's got a -22, but I wouldn't worry too much about that because he does have level stakes profit on the flat. It's early days, we don't have a great pool to go on, but this is a train that I definitely recommend that you keep an eye on, yeah? So, moving on to somebody a little bit more established, but probably not on everybody's lips, and that's Charles Hills. Really rate this guy very highly. And yeah, he's one of the few trainers who can boast a level stake profit after 1,700 plus runners over the last 5 years. Strong with season handicappers, you can see that and the reason why in a second. 15% strike rate August. Well, if you consider the type of race, that's the important part too, yeah. And here we go. You've got 4-year-old plus turf races plus 149.37 overall a profit as well. So Charles Hills 3.7% there overall, and add on getting the best odds, getting everything in place, and you can see why you should be following a trainer like Charles Hills. So now we're going to move on to sort of Uncle Fester or OWEN Burrowws. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's plenty of quality in his stable. Really has got a lot of quality in his stable. Now, if you watch the parade ring, they all like supermodels walking around there. Honestly, some of the best presented horses that you'll ever see come from this stable, so they're doing the job right. Yeah, 20% winning strike rate. If you're going to try to get a little bit more out of OWEN Burrow's stable, then I would definitely recommend that you're looking at using the exchanges or line shopping, because you will increase your profits drastically by doing so. He's a patient trainer who doesn't overface his inmates. So, if you see a horse running 4 or 5 times a year for him, I think that's pretty much par for the course with this type of trainer. Yeah, it's a state-of-the-art yard, and it really is paying dividends. If you have a look at the images of that yard, you will see why he's doing particularly well. Yeah, he was a private trainer for the late Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, and now from his peers, he's being given the right to seek other new owners, and that's what he's doing. So expect to see this trainer going, becoming even better. Look at the figures. You can see he's pretty well level across all. It's got a small profit over 466 runners. I don't need to mention again that these horses are running to standard, and he's definitely a trainer that you want to keep on the right side. So for the number one, I'm afraid it's got to be William HAGGAS, even despite having a negative ROI. We'll go through that right now. I think basically he's more consistent than anyone. If you concentrate on the top races with HAGGAS, you're going to definitely profit. He's always best prepared for the big day. He's a man with a plan, right? So, keep that at the back of your mind. And knowing when to bet this stable is the key. If we have a quick look at the figures for the new market trainer, you'll see that it's got -299 if you was betting at SP on each one of them. But you're not stupid enough to be betting at SP, so we're going to take that, out of the sort of equation, right? If you're concentrating on the races that I mentioned, then no doubt about it, William HAGGAS is masterclass, and for me, the number one trainer in the UK at the moment. So, yeah, that's about it. So, those are the 10 that I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts. Also, go and do your research. Go to the Racing Post, have a look at the data, and also just see how they perform in the near future. See if what I'm saying comes true. If this video gets enough hits, then what we're going to do is we're going to follow it up with another one about 10 trainers that you should avoid. But for now, you're through to boot camp. I'm Tony from BECKETT Analyst. See you in the next one soon. Take care. Bye-bye.